and then come and say, Vanita, once you come and see what Toastmasters is, only when you come and sit in the meeting, you will be able to tell the rest of the 3,000 employees that Toastmasters exist. We don't want your membership. We just want you to promote us. Very, very nicely laid it out there. So I was thinking the last bench is where I sat. Somebody told me at the end of the meeting I get samosa. So I was like, okay, nothing happens, I will get food. So when I went, this thing. And then something happened here. I was thinking, okay, they're only going to call, and then I was the category where our Toastmaster of the day said, right, I am here to observe, I'm not going to do anything in that meeting, but then I got called into what we call as table topics. How many of you have come in into Toastmasters here thinking, let me just see what the fuss is about? And then they said, oh, table topics is for guests. You have to speak. How many of you have had that experience? Pretty much everyone the first time that you came, same thing. And then something really shifted for me there. The time when I was joining Toastmasters, that was just 10 years ago, I was very comfortable speaking. So, you know, the typical reasons why folks join Toastmasters mostly is stage fright, uncomfortable to talk to one-to-one, all of that was not there for me. So I was thinking, then what? I am so very confident, I speak a lot and things like that. So then this is not for me is what I was thinking. So when I was sitting in the back row, I saw there was this one developer guy. His manager had pushed him into the meeting. So he had to come in and tell why he joined the meeting, and it's a corporate club. So you can imagine the setting there, right? Like everyone's working at Oracle, different departments come together for the meeting. So he comes in and says, I didn't want Toastmasters, but my manager said every week I have to show up, otherwise I'm not going to get a good rating. And the manager had apparently told him that you do so much work, and yet when you come sit one-to-one, you're not able to tell me what you did. I have to tell you, these are the good things in your thing, and you're somehow not communicating it right to me, and that's why we're not able to hard sell your own promotion, this thing. So he comes here, and then just like how every table topics works, this particular person was asked to speak impromptu, okay? You've experienced that at some point, right? So he said, no, this meeting I will watch, and those relentless first benchers, where they have that energy from, I don't know. Later I got to know that they were called club officers. Shout out to the club officers here. So these people are like, no, Hatim, come on Hatim, you can do it. It's not going to be a hard thing. Just until you see a green color card and everything. So the guy comes here. It was an easy topic. Now trust me, anyone here, if I were to ask you, talk about the last place that you traveled to. Even if you're not a travel freak, just crossing Silk Board, you will still be able to make a story. Some story out of it, for sure. The guy came here and for 30 seconds, and you can start counting 30 seconds and you'll know how terribly long it is. It is 4 times longer when you're on this side. The guy is just staring at everyone. And then I am having palpitations watching him not speak for 28 long seconds. And then the magic happened. These annoying front benchers. Come on Hatim, you can do this. I saw on your Instagram you've gone, you had a car trip to Ooty. Talk about that. You want to talk about like the incident that happened yesterday on your way to work. These folks are all like encouraging him. He comes here, he speaks for 40 seconds, didn't see the green card. And then this crazy thing happened. Full applause, full on applause. Face that? Average speaker, you know. When you come here, you didn't do your best. Average, very, very average speaker. And somehow, they're all cheering. Like you're the next best TEDx speaker that they've seen. And that energy is just so amazing, right? And then you come back again. So Hatim and I joined the same day as guests in that meeting. The next Thursday, there was no president at my desk. Somehow, I found myself clearing all my meetings on Thursday, 3 o'clock. I showed up, still backbencher, but seeing others, what they were doing and how really this was working. I think Toastmasters introduced me to what we call as mentoring. Why would you care about somebody else without getting something back in return for you? What was that joy of just giving for someone else? I was very, very quizzical when I came in, and then I saw growth happening in front of my eyes. Hatim, my growth was nothing compared to the kind of growth that Hatim had, and that's why he's the hero of my story. So I was so regular to the Toastmaster Club meetings that the next term's president said, Vanita, you anyway show up to the meetings, whether you take a role or not. How about you be what is called as club secretary? Where's the club secretary in our club? She's not here.
Yet.
So, very religious. So they said just take minutes of the meeting. Every meeting you have to say who came, who attended, who spoke, who won. You know, like a standard template, and send it out to everyone. Encourage anyone who's not showed up to the meeting to come back to the next meeting. Very simple. I thought anyway I'm showing up, might as well just get this done. This is all before ChatGPT, okay? So all that writing down thing was hard. But Hatim for me was he was just a wonder person to watch. And I'm saying this because his first speech that he gave at the Toastmaster Club was 40 seconds, not being able to talk about a place that he traveled to cut to 8 months from there. His boss, and I have to give like as much as credit to the boss because the boss saw something in him, you know, somebody wanting him to be better and grow and pushing him really, like literally pushed to Toastmasters. Hatim went on to present a patent. Okay, it's all too much code and development stuff, so I'm not going to talk the technical jargons, but the long story short, he did a 40-minute presentation on some software patent of his team. He was representing a whole bunch of these Indians at Oracle's Open World in front of 60,000 customers. And that for me was just amazing. And he used Toastmasters like how Toastmasters should be used. We had special meetings in the corporate club just for Hatim, where the whole meeting would just be Hatim coming and delivering something, and the entire group of audience becoming evaluators. You know, if you're new, you give us that kind of feedback. If you're senior, you'd give more feedback about, you know, how could your presentation be? Don't turn your back and talk about the slides, like look in the front, or slides should complement, you know, various kinds of things. And he just became better because of the community. So when he shared pictures on WhatsApp about this Oracle Open World and just the crowd, it suddenly felt like it was not just Hatim's win. It was the entire IBC Titans, that was the name of the club, that was celebrating because it felt like everybody's win. Now I can say this for sure, considering the 14 years that Koramangala Toastmasters has been here and the kind of lives that you've changed, you're definitely in one such club. Let me hear a shout out if you feel you're here where you belong. Because this is the strength, okay? This eventually becomes, if not family, I won't say something cliche like family, but you would find some fantastic friendships, lifelong mentoring, however you use the program. Now the international president for Toastmasters International, her name is Aleta Rochard. How many of you have heard her name before? Seen photos? Met her also. All the Crescendo people met her and took photos with her and all of that. So she uses a terminology called helium hands. Just raising your hand for everything. If you are in Toastmasters and you're figuring out just what do I do at the club, I'm going to highly recommend helium hands to you. What that really means is be Maya's best friend. What do I mean by that? When your VP head is asking somebody take roles, please ensure you're putting your helium hands up. Figure out what to do later, but just sign up for that role because that's where the real learning is. Just putting your hand up and showing up for everything that Toastmasters has to offer. I was extremely comfortable inside of my club. My corporate club was my entire cocoon. We had like so many things. When I took up the secretary, and then the next thing they said, you know, there's something called membership. You anyway talk nicely to everyone, so get everyone to Toastmasters. That year I went crazy. 25 members joined that program here from Oracle. And there were so many people asking for transfers from another Oracle office to come to this office. just to be a part of the Toastmasters club. So it was so good to just see Toastmasters thriving. And then they said become president. President is, there's no specific work for the president, no, it's managing the 6 other people that are having specific roles to do. Then I was thinking, what president? This is like my team lead role that I would have at work, like a manager role. I won't even say manager because a manager will still have duties to do, but as a president, I literally have to just oversee the others. So far so good. What do you think her role actually is in the club? You think she does anything? I mean, apart from this presidential address that she comes and gives and makes us do all this, what else do you think she's doing at the club? She literally is driving the entire 7-member executive committee. That helps. Some of you will see you're warmly welcomed. There's like a fantastic agenda week after week. There are like beautiful photos of you, posters everywhere on. You're thinking it's my birthday. Even my family doesn't hype me up so much. My club is celebrating my birthday. How many of you have had that? The first poster that you ever had your face on was a Toastmasters poster. You understand all of that, right? Because we thrive on just celebrating recognition and acknowledgement and all of that. But this is comfort. This is your safe space. If you've not figured it out, then you should spend a little more longer time with the club to realize that this definitely will be safe space. But growth doesn't happen in safe places. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. That's why they called me from outside to come and say how you should all step outside. So here are some things that I was told work very well for me. I have some leaders from your own club who've done the same, and I'm just going to share with you some examples. And whatever appeals to you, do the helium hands. Okay, wherever you think, okay, this might check a box for me. Now, how many of you here have joined Toastmasters? Let me just first see guests who are not yet Toastmasters. Do you know what happens at a regular Toastmaster meeting? No idea at all? Okay, so I want to encourage you to show up to the next meeting, okay? Because this meeting is a special meeting. It's not the regular setup. You will not see all the roles that I'm talking about right now, but the next couple of meetings, we'll show you what a timer does. There is somebody who's a speaker. There's somebody who gives feedback or an evaluator. So you will hear all of that. So the 4 of you that raised your hand saying, don't know what happens in Toastmasters, please come again. I won't be there, but the entire club will have an entire setup for you up and running. So when you have, things like this, when you have, like the whole thing is planned out for you and set for you and like a whole agenda is set. How many of you Toastmasters join Toastmasters to become the world's best timer? Hey, you do timer role in your club, no?
Yeah.
You have, no? Someone's going to show me cards eventually, I'm guessing. Okay, somebody who joined Toastmasters to become the bestest table topics master that India has ever seen. Anybody like that? Table topics master. If you go outside Seva and Action, nobody will know what table topics master is. What is the point? How many of you here joined to become the best grammarian? Shashi Tharoor will be jealous of. This is Helium Hands character. Everything I'm putting my hands in. Whatever is your question. Who wants to use the bathroom? No? Oh, okay. Okay, Helium Hands definitely. So, all of these kind of roles that you take here in Toastmasters, have you ever wondered, I am never doing this outside of Toastmasters. And why the hell am I checking somebody's time? Why the hell is somebody counting my ahs and ums? Why is someone saying be more positive in my feedback or be more mindful of time or just whatever things that we do in Toastmasters? How many of you have ever wondered that? At least thought about it. Not even thought about it, just came, did the role and went because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. You thought about it at least?
Yes. Yeah.
It got me thinking so much. Say that again?
Sorry, reverse happened. After I joined Toastmasters and found all these roles, I discovered I was doing that in office as well.
Oh, very nice. Okay. That's my favorite. Actually, it's my worst thing. Because I would sit in a team meeting, my senior manager will be talking, I'll be sitting and counting his crutch words. And he would have his expression question, like you want to say something, but you're not able to say it. And then he called me aside, and then I said, you used 60 hours today. That is just crazy. He said, keep your Toastmaster hat outside and talk to me like a normal human being. And I can't. Like I'm just constantly, and the moment I highlighted to him that he has 60 hours, the next meeting onwards, the guy had like 34. And the following meeting, 20. So I said, see, just awareness. You just needed to know what your crutch word was so that you're consciously building on it. And then he's like, you know what? You're sold. How many people you want like to be sponsored to Toastmasters? We'll take care of it at support. And that's a totally different conversation. Let's come back to things that we do at Toastmasters. We will never do these roles outside. But somehow, everything that you do outside of Toastmasters, this will become fundamental. This will become like your very basic foundation. It has to become your foundation. Which means the next opportunity that you get for a sermon, or a seminar, or a presentation, you will be mindful of everyone's time. Because you know, everyone's time is that important, right? So one of the things that a very important speaker told me, and somebody that I really look up to, said, every time you go out to prepare, you're thinking this is 45 minutes time given to me. But there are 100 people in the room. So you technically have 4,500 minutes. That is how much time people are spending. Just do the math, dude, 45 into 100. I didn't do 30 because I don't know the math for 45 into 30. But you get it? Like, so when you start preparing for, someone's giving 4,500 minutes, that seems like a lot. So what can I do for ensuring that there is quality in what you give? You will start working that better. And that has stayed with me forever. It's no longer just 45 minutes of one person. It's always the cumulative time that someone has agreed to give me. And so I have to make it worthwhile their time. That, again, totally different concept coming back to what we do at Toastmasters. So as long as we are able to think of how can I use the things that I do at Toastmasters outside effectively to become better at the jobs that we do, the people that we interact to. One of the biggest things that I've got, the biggest compliments that I've got is the sandwich technique did not work in my club as well as it worked with my partner. Because suddenly it became so much easier to get things done at home because I'm just complimenting the husband first time, telling him what he needs to do the second, and the third line is saying something amazing that he does, which he really does at the house. So somehow the sandwich technique worked in interpersonal skills. So if you're not using your Toastmasters skills and the learnings here outside, you're not doing Toastmasters right yet. So that's for everyone to keep that in mind. And just like everything else that is, let's say for one of the most important things would be value. All of us come here wanting to get value of the $60, dollar price increasing and all of that. You want to make sure that you get absolute value from your Toastmasters membership. Agree?
Yes.
Anyone who thinks it's okay, $60 is pretty chill. I don't need to get any values. Backbench, samosa they're giving here also. Anybody like that? Everybody wants value out of this. Unfortunately, value is a two-way street. And by that, I'm telling you, if you want to give value, you have to start get value. You have to start giving value to the things that you do. So if you're coming here for a prepared speech, and in your head you know it's going to be extempore, you're not really giving value, not just to you, but to the 30 people that have come in here ready to listen to you. You've not put the effort. And in Toastmasters, no one gets paid to do this. Let me ask Sukanya, nothing? Still nothing. Whole term over. Let's ask our AD from the last term. Did you get anything? Managing 4 clubs and all, nothing. So basically, currency is definitely not money here. The currency in Toastmasters is time. If you can make the time that it takes for the role that you're signing up for. Today as a TM Modi, do you think she's just springing up all those quotes off her head? No. Hopefully you sat down and prepared beforehand, came up with the theme, aligned everything that she was saying, because it takes work. And the moment you put the time required for the role that you do, you're automatically giving value. So then it makes it so much more easier for us. If the first time I'm fumbling as an R counter and I'm realizing what does the script say and I'm doing it in this place, I'm not giving value to the role that I'm doing. So time that you will have to spend for the role is something that I want to leave you with. Everything that you do at Toastmasters is a product of how much time you can spend on it. And that is 100% true for anything that you do inside the club and outside the club. Now all of us here are aware that this club exists, correct? Koramangala Toastmasters, she gave us like a really nice introduction about how Toastmasters is a 101 years organization and Koramangala Toastmasters for 14 years. Similar clubs in this area, in the geographical distance, come together as what we call as Toastmasters area. So in the big scheme of things, many areas, 4 or 5 areas together, come together and what we call this as division. Am I losing you here with the jargons, especially the first timers? Okay with area division? And then a lot of these divisions, 10 divisions mostly, 9 divisions mostly, come together, we call what we call as the district. Now district has Toastmaster clubs across Karnataka and Kerala. So that's how big you can think of this. The reason why I'm introducing you to this is just one club, your cocoon, your safe place, your family, this is a place where you can't go wrong, things will be great for you here. But for you to really see growth through Toastmasters, you have to step out of your club. At the area level, and let me just call out 3 people that I know who did this role. Imagine you were taking care of your club. Sukanya has been driving you all to do your educational awards. Maya will be saying you've not filed this, you're not given your speech. And so something called as the Distinguished Club Program. Have you heard that? Yes. At least you'll know that's why you have to bring a guest, because we need like our members, we need to add members, and then we need to file our officers. That's why you're having the election right after this. So there are some things that we do. A good running club, and it's a global standard across Toastmasters in 143 countries. If it's a good club, you know it because of its distinguished status. And Koramangala Toastmasters, are you all set for President Distinguished, Medley Distinguished? Medley Distinguished already?
Yes.
Full. I'm just very proud of this club. I'm very proud of getting an opportunity to speak at a Medley Distinguished Club. So that is like the highest honor that you can get to a club, which means everything is running. Now imagine doing that as a club officer, okay? So I'm giving you examples of the club officers that you know in the club. Imagine making 4 such clubs achieve their distinguished goals. Can you imagine that? My one club only I can't take care as VP, and my VP is just like giving me, what is this? She's rolling her eye and she's saying, I'm done. Imagine you do that, but now you don't have any official formal authority over them. You just have to be extremely nice, know how to work with people, and suddenly work with 4 clubs to get them distinguished. Seems like a hard task to do. Okay, and then there are things, have you heard of moments of truth?
Yes.
How you come and evaluate yourself as a club. As a club, are we doing this right, There's a whole checklist. Those kind of things get done by what we call as an area director. Somebody who directs the progress and the success of an area, Toastmaster area. So far so good. So that is what we call as a district officer role. Now this is purely managing 4 clubs, right? Now let's shout out to 3 people that I know here who have done area director roles. The first person that I know that has done the area director role is Distinguished Toastmaster Kishore. Can we have him stand? And then we have Distinguished Toastmaster Prateek. And now the more recent hero in the club, Toastmaster Pondra. So this year he's been, along with Koramangala Toastmasters, he's been taking care of 3 other clubs. Current, this year, he is your area director, homegrown from, Koramangala Toastmasters. Now imagine, this is like a manager role, right? Like you have 4 people, you give them all goals to do, and then you figure out how they do it. Now imagine you in your organization are managing 4 managers. You're not going to directly talk to the clubs here or the agents that are working, but you will in turn talk to your direct reports who are managers and give them what is required from an org point of view, and tell them to cascade it down to their teams. More hard? Because now, in Toastmaster lingo, it's not 4 clubs. It's 4 into 4 minimum. 16 clubs under you. You have to figure out a way to get all 16 clubs to meet that distinguished goal or whatever. But you can't talk to the clubs. You can only talk to those 4 area directors. Imagine division director role. Senior manager equivalent in a corporate. How much more harder it is. That is just absolute people skills. You have to be there, yet not be there. You have to like guide them, but the front face is not going to be you, kind of a role. Seems like something that you can do. So Toastmasters gives you an opportunity to get up there and become what we call as a division director. Shout out to division director in the room. Distinguished Toastmaster, Pratik. This I got to know him during that division director term. That is when like I started hanging out with Pratik, and now he's like forever friend. Oh God, that's all. This is like with or without the roles. And so managing 4 people like that. And so the roles grow above that. I don't want to complicate it for you, but just like how you have it in the club, you have a president, you have a VPE for the club, you have a VPE for the district who takes care of education and training. Just like how you have a VP membership here, you have what we call as a club growth director for the district that takes care of all of Karnataka and Kerala Toastmaster operations. Too much jargons now. So let's come back to what else can you do outside. Now every single time that you step out of the club, you are now going to be a brand ambassador of Koramangala Toastmasters. Right? Because that is home. That is where you originate. That is where you belong. But now you are going to start going outside. The first person that you will probably need to be in touch with is your area director. Because that is literally the next person that you are connected to the district about. So as the area director, they have many different goals that does not happen like how a club happens. For example, one of the roles of an area director is to grow Toastmasters. Koramangala, 14 years ago, somebody decided that a club will happen, and it happened. But every area director tries to grow one new club at least in their term. Now growing Toastmasters means they have no idea about Toastmasters. So you have to go and pitch Toastmasters to them, conduct a sample meeting like how a regular meeting happens, get people to get into Toastmasters, do some paperwork and file it and put a club on the Toastmasters map. All of that requires specific skill sets, not just sales mindset, but also how to sell a product that you know very well, but they don't know anything. And so value selling is the concept. You don't sell, we do table topics in Toastmasters, right? You don't sell that we do our counter role in Toastmasters. You will sell saying, when you come to Toastmasters, your crutch words become less, and you will become more comfortable talking in front of an audience, which will help you with the promotion, scale up. So you're going to be talking about the benefits of Toastmasters, basically value selling. You're no longer talking about the things we do, but what the outcome or the product would be. Now, in Toastmasters, there are many things that you can do outside of the club. And for somebody who's been in the club for more than a year, I highly recommend enough. Time's up. Party time over, step out and get uncomfortable. Because the more you step out, the more easier growth happens to you. And for that one syndrome that you have to remember is? So the next time you're hearing your club president, so your club president, your VP education and your VP membership are a part of what we call as an area council. So the top 3 leaders of every club become an area. So the area director shares with them saying, hey, today we're going to try this organization here. They don't know, they don't have Toastmasters. Do any of you work in an organization that doesn't have Toastmasters? Things like that. They're going to ask you how we can grow Toastmasters. Now the second thing that happens within a Toastmaster framework, and I'm trying to tell you, things that you do in Toastmasters does not necessarily give you skills to only be relevant inside Toastmasters. Remember the first thing that I told you. Whatever you learn in Toastmasters, if you can't use it outside, you're failing at Toastmasters. You're not using Toastmasters very well. So if you're negotiating on a deal to get a new Toastmaster club, where can you use these negotiation skills at work, or where else can you do? Or like convincing your parents to let you to go to a Goa trip. I'll never do that with my kids, but whatever, right? Like you understand, so you will sell and you will probably show like value of, I don't see any value in Goa anyway, but you understand the idea, right? Like you're no longer, if you're not using these skills outside, then it's not going to be helpful for you. So now there are many things, like I said, you can do at Toastmasters. How many of you have heard of this term called Distinguished Toastmaster? Okay, these are, again, what is the currency of Toastmasters? Time. These are people who have spent a ridiculous amount of time in Toastmasters, doing Toastmasters stuff. That we decided, oh my God, you're super special, we'll just give you the award of what we call as a Distinguished Toastmaster. So by just way of membership, everyone becomes a Toastmaster. Until then you're a guest, okay? Until you, the four of you that put your hand up, you're a guest. But the moment you get a membership, everyone's a Toastmaster. And once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster, okay? If you go and come back, there are so many people who take a break because something's not working for them, and they come back, they're always going to be a Toastmaster. But this Distinguished Toastmaster are these bunch of people who spend so much time for Toastmasters doing different things. It's not just giving speeches, but it's also doing many things that has contributed overall to the growth of Toastmasters. Now, DTMs in the house, please stand and get recognized. The other DTM, how many of you know a Pandya Rajan here?
Yes.
That is the other DTM who constantly does so much at Toastmasters and also does excellent outside of Toastmasters. Now there's going to be a single pager that is literally just, if you don't know what to do in Toastmasters but want to get out of your comfort zone, here's something that you can think of doing at Toastmasters. Again, the first person that you will contact will be your area director, because your area director will be doing different things by the way of being a district officer. So you going along with them, tailing and shadowing them will be the easiest way to learn what all you can do through Toastmasters. But there's a list of few things that you can do at Toastmasters which will, by the way of you doing all those, eventually get you to be a distinguished Toastmaster. Now, like I said, currency is time. So this takes time. I'll show you how. The first thing that you'll need to do inside of any club that you're a part of is finish 2 paths and a special project called the DTM project. A project specifically to help any organization that you're serving. I know of people who have done DTM projects for their organization that they work for, just doing something better and coming and telling us how what they did helped the organization. You can do a DTM project. It's a time specific one with SMART goals, starting and ending already defined, and how it has benefited the organization. And it can be anywhere. You don't have to do something for Toastmasters, you could do it outside. One of the DTM projects that I did was a blood donation drive at the campus that I was at. Some 800 people came and donated blood. It was the first time. So we had like numbers, we had a time frame, and I had like a whole team that I had to take along. You're getting the idea, right? I'm just giving you outside of Toastmasters what else could be something that serves the organization. Now this is on the education path, which is your speeches, the roles that you do. Is that clear? Any questions on paths? How many of you have finished one path? Okay, so you know that the next time Maya says come and give speech, you have some work to do, correct?
Yes.
Because you have some speeches to give just by way of wanting to finish your path. Then comes the club leadership. Could you scroll up for me? Club leadership. Now Koramangala Toastmasters here has 6-month terms. So for 6 months, July to December or Jan to June is when you will have club officers elected. So in June, you are now going to elect your officers for July to December, and that's a 6-month term. So if you want any 2 club officer roles, in Koramangala, if you're a dual member, you can go to another club and be another officer. 6 months of club officer roles if you can do that in this. Now what does this teach you at the club level? This is the workhorses at Toastmasters, right? Like you are literally making the club work. The roles that you take. If a secretary, then how do you get people to continuously attend your meetings? If you're a PR person, then how do you promote your club so that more people can come to your club? Depending on the role that you take. A treasurer, you have like funds within the club, somebody manages that. So depending on this club leadership roles that you take, serve 2 terms or a 12 months. There are clubs that have these officers appointed for a whole year. So then you do one of that. This is like bare minimum. If you ask me for like a checklist, this is just like a checklist. The third one is serving as a district officer. Remember I told you these extra special people, Pondram, Pratik and Kishore, Pandyarajan, Abhijit, Rishabh, Subbu, all these people, Koramangala Toastmasters, homegrown leaders that we have seen at the top. They've gone all the way up to serving as district director as well. Rishabh Mehta was the #1 district director when he served in the world. He was the #1 district director in the world. So these are roles that you can do as a district officer. In addition to that, some more roles, but basically those are all 1-year terms. So Pondram became area director July of the last year. He's finishing his term June of this year. That will be what we call as the district officer role. Now this is all officer roles serving either the club or the area or the division. But what do you do to grow Toastmasters or protect Toastmasters? So when you're thinking of a distinguished Toastmaster, you're looking at all facets possible of leadership. That's where the next one comes, which is club extension. Please scroll up for me a little bit. Now club extension means, am I starting Toastmasters somewhere where it has never happened before? Similarly, you can also do a 8-week program within the club itself, and you can talk to your club ExCom about it. ExCom, if you don't know, you ask your area director. Area director, if you don't know, you ask your division director. Division director will ask the district. So that's how the help of hierarchy of help also goes. You come and talk about the benefits of Toastmasters for a shorter period of time. 8-week program for adults. That is what we call as a speechcraft. Some people don't have the time to invest in Toastmasters, to come to recurring meetings for a long period of time. I'll do 8 weeks. You give me whatever I can learn in 8 weeks. Crash course. Similarly, we also have an outreach program for young adults. Kids between 8 to 17. If you want to pick up public speaking, you as a club can organize what we call as a youth leadership program. So organizing this or coordinating this for Koramangala Toastmasters in the safe space as you, but having these people who will temporarily come to Toastmasters and gain the benefits of Toastmasters through these programs, that could also be somewhere that you grow Toastmasters. Any questions on this? Any doubts so far? What is this? Alright, the last one that is there is slightly longer duration. Now these 8-week programs will just be like meeting, organizing and things like that. Now imagine 14 years ago when they started Koramangala Toastmasters, nobody knew anything. We didn't know what was this. Now you have a fantastic culture of, how you record all your meetings, you have mentors assigned, club buddies assigned when you come in. There are some specific things that you do at Toastmasters, at Koramangala Toastmasters. So that gets helped by whom we call as a club mentor. Someone who gets assigned to the club for 6 months. You help the club. Now the key thing for being a club mentor is, don't feed them fish, teach them fishing. At the end of the 6 months, when you're done with your club mentor role, the club should not say, oh my God, now what? We don't know how to run on our own. So you will have to enable them to help them be on their own. That is the club mentor. The same role, slightly like Jumanji level 5, make it a little hard. There is a club that is struggling. Koramangala Toastmasters has about 20 people minimum that show up to every meeting. Agree? Today is another example. There are clubs that don't have this kind of membership. They probably have like 8 members, they're struggling to get their members. So if you are someone that can help revive a struggling club, and they could be struggling for any reason, there will be many reasons why a club could be struggling. You go to a struggling club, you help that club come back on its feet. Harder, right? Because a new club, you already have the people. But in a struggling club, you might have to be the reason how they get ideas to market their club, promote the club, grow the club, add their members, and then conduct quality meetings. It's easier to conduct quality meetings when you have the people. But imagine that. So like I said, Jumanji level 5. So if you are a club coach, Toastmasters said, you don't just take care of this role, we'll also give you officer credit. If you make one club come up successfully, we'll also give you the credit that Pundram otherwise had to work with 4 other clubs and get, right? Like the district officer credit. You do club coach successfully, we'll give you both the credits. So Toastmasters works like that, depending, because the level of difficulty or how much time you have to put in this is as much. Now these are things that you do. If you do all this over a period of time, you can become what we call as a distinguished Toastmaster. You keep track of these many things that you do. Now the distinguished Toastmaster, in my humble opinion, is just a reflection of how much you have done at Toastmasters, not how well you have done at Toastmasters. Which means you could be a club president and be a terrible one at it. Not this club president, don't you dare look at her. You can be an area director and not have lifted a finger at all and still get these roles. So a DTM does not really mean like you did well, it just meant that you did. Okay? Whether you do well or not will be the reason why people remember you. If Pratik and Kishore and Pundram and Pandyarajan did not do their roles well, nobody will bring up their names again. Because they did so well in the roles that they did, in the time that they served, they will be remembered longer. So that is totally dependent on how much you put in. And I want to leave you with just one thing here. And this is not just for Toastmasters alone. The DTM is just like a checklist thing, okay? If you don't know, hey, I want to do things, I have the time in hand, I want to learn, every new experience in Toastmasters is teaching me something new, let me go here. Club contest we organize here, but how is it to organize a contest outside? Let me ask my area director. Oh, there are 2-3 clubs meeting together, let me chair that meeting. There are roles like you went to a district conference, there's a random person being the host of that particular section, an MC role. Let me put my hand up for that. So basically, Helium Hands will get you a lot of these opportunities made available to you. But what you do with that opportunity is totally your call. The best part about being in Toastmasters is you can fail. You can practice, you can fail, and you can try again. I don't think we can do this in our organizations. So come here to fail. Put your hands up to try again. And ensure that every time you're doing this, you are adding value to the role. In any organization, Toastmasters or otherwise, the more you give to the organization, the more you will get from the organization. Toastmasters is nothing different. There's this one international president, the first woman president that we ever had at Toastmasters. It took us 54 years to have women join Toastmasters, okay? Until then it was solely managed by men, and clearly we have made so much of a difference now because we are now 60% women membership in Toastmasters, and you can see this now. But there is this one, it's a tongue twister of its kind, but it kind of summarizes what I believe Toastmasters can offer, and I'm going to share that with you and leave you with that note. If you can get out of Toastmasters everything that you can get out of Toastmasters, you, members of Koramangala Toastmasters, will never get out of Toastmasters. I'm going to say that one more time because I successfully said it. If you can get out of Toastmasters everything that you can get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. Yes. Give more, get more. Thanks everyone.